Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says the Divine knows better than we do what is good for the progress of the world and of ourselves. With always our love and blessings, says our Divine Mother.
My sweet Master, this body is thy instrument, this will is thy servant, this intelligence is thy tool, and the whole is only thyself. Seigneur, mon doux Maître, ce corps est ton instrument, cette volonté est ta servante, cette intelligence est ton outil, et le tout n'est que toi-même.
Mannatha Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Gurave Namaha
Vidyate hridaya granthischidhyante sarva sanshaya shiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare brahmaivedamamritam purastha brahmaivedamamritam purastha brahma paschat brahma dakshinataschottarena adhaschodadhancha prasiddham brahmaivedam vishwamidam vadishtham Tvasuparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vruksham parishasvajate tayoranyah pimpalam swadadya nasnanyo abhijakashite samane vrukshe purusho nimagno hanishaya shojati muhyamanah jushtham yada pashyati annamishavasya mahimanamiti vitashokah satyameva jayate namritam satyameva jayate namritam satyena bandha vidato devayanah yena pramanti rishayo yaptakama yatra tam satyasya paramam nidhanam.
Words of our Divine Mother, taken from the compilations of our Divine Mother book, The Signature of Truth, topic Foundations of Integral Yoga. Question, sweet mother. It has been said that in order to progress in integral yoga, one must offer up everything to the divine, even every little thing that one has or does in life. What is precisely the meaning of that? For this, our Divine Mother says, yoga means union with the divine. Yoga means union with the divine, and the union is effected through offering. It is founded on the offering of yourself to the divine. In the beginning, you start by making this offering in a general way, as though once for all you say, I am the servant of the divine. My life is given absolutely to the divine. All my efforts are for the realization of the divine life. But that is only the first step, for this is not sufficient. When the resolution has been taken, when you have decided that the whole of your life shall be given to the divine, you have still at every moment to remember it and carry it out in all the details of your existence. You may feel at every step, that you belong to the divine. You must have the constant experience that in whatever you think or do, it is always the divine consciousness that is acting through you. You have no longer anything that you can call your own. You feel everything as coming from the divine, and you have to offer it back to its source. When you can realize that, then even the smallest thing to which you do not usually pay much attention or care ceases to be trivial and insignificant. It becomes full of meaning, and it opens up a vast horizon beyond. Our Divine Mother says, this is what you have to do to carry out of your general offering in detailed offerings. Live constantly in the presence of the divine. Live constantly in the presence of the divine. Live in the feeling that it is this presence which moves you and is doing everything you do. Offer all your moments to it, not only every mental action, every thought and feeling, but even the most ordinary and external actions, such as eating. When you eat, you must feel that it is the divine who is eating through you. When you can thus gather all your moments into the one life, then you have in you unity instead of division. No longer is one part of your nature given to the divine, while the rest remains in its ordinary ways, engrossed in ordinary things. Your entire life is taken up. An integral transformation is gradually realized in you. Our Divine Mother says, in the integral yoga, the integral life down even to the smallest detail has to be transformed to be divinized. There is nothing here that is insignificant, nothing that is indifferent. You cannot say, when I am meditating, reading philosophy, or listening to these conversations, I will be in this condition of an opening towards the light and call for it. But when I go out to walk or to see friends, I can allow myself to forget all about it. Our Divine Mother says, to persist in this attitude means you will remain untransformed and never have the true union. Always you will be divided. You will have at best only glimpses of this greater life. For although certain experiences and realizations may come to you in meditation or in your inner consciousness, your body and your outer life will remain unchanged. An inner illumination that does not take any note of the body and the outer life is of no great use, for it leaves the world as it is. This is what has happened continuously till now. Even those who had a very great and powerful realization withdrew from the world to live undisturbed in the inner quiet and peace. The world was left to its ways and misery and stupidity. Death and ignorance continued unaffected their reign on this material plane of existence. For those who thus withdraw, it may be pleasant to escape from this turmoil, to run away from the difficulty, and to find for themselves a happy condition elsewhere. But they leave the world and life uncorrected, untransformed, and their own outer consciousness too, they leave unchanged, and their bodies are unregenerate as ever. Our Divine Mother says, coming back to the physical world, they are likely to lie worse there than even ordinary people, for they have lost the mastery over material things, and their dealing with physical life is likely to be slovenly and helpless in its movements and at the mercy of every passing force. Our Divine Mother says, an ideal of this kind may be good for those who want it, but it is not for our yoga. For we want the divine conquest of this world, the conquest of all its moments, and realization of the divine here. But if we want the divine to reign here, we must give all we have and are and do here to the divine. It will not do to think that anything is unimportant or that the external life and its necessities are no part of the divine life. If we do, we shall remain where we have always been, and there will be no conquest of the external world. Nothing abiding there will be done, says our Divine Mother. Question: when we are concentrated in the mental movements or intellectual pursuits, why do we sometimes forget or lose touch with the divine? For this, our Divine Mother says, you lose it because your consciousness is still divided. You lose it because your consciousness is still divided. The divine has not settled into your mind. You are not wholly consecrated to the divine life. Otherwise, you could concentrate to any extent upon such things, and still you would have the sense of being held and supported by the divine. Our Divine Mother says, in all pursuits, intellectual or active, your one motto should be remember and offer. Remember and offer. Let whatever you do be done as an offering to the divine. Let whatever you do be done as an offering to the divine. And this too will be an excellent discipline for you. It will prevent you from doing any foolish or useless things, says our Divine Mother. Question, sweet mother. Often in the beginning of the action, this can be done, but as one gets engrossed in the work, one forgets. Why is that so? How is one to remember you? For this, our Divine Mother says, the condition to be aimed at, the real achievement of yoga, the final perfection and attainment for which all else is only a preparation, is a consciousness in which it is impossible to do anything without the divine. For then, if you are without the divine, the very source of your action disappears. Knowledge, power, all are gone. But as long as you feel that the powers you use are your own, you will not miss the divine support. In the beginning of integral yoga, you are apt to forget the divine very often. But By constant aspiration, you increase your remembrance and you diminish the forgetfulness. But this should not be done as a severe discipline or a duty. It must be a moment of love and joy. Then, very soon, a stage will come when, if you do not feel the presence of the Divine at every moment, and whatever you are doing, you feel at once lonely and sad and miserable. Our Divine Mother says, whenever you find that you can do something without the feeling the presence of the Divine and yet be perfectly comfortable, you must understand that you are not consecrated in that part of your being. That is the way of the ordinary humanity which does not feel any need of the Divine. But for a seeker of the divine life is very different. When you have entirely realized unity with the divine, then if the divine were only for a second to withdraw from you, you would simply drop dead. For the divine is now the life of your life, your whole existence, your single and complete support. If the divine is not there, nothing is left, says our Divine Mother. Question, sweet mother, can it be said in justification of one's past that whatever has happened in one's life had to happen? For this, our Divine Mother says, obviously, what has happened had to happen. It would not have been if it had not been intended. Even the mistakes that we commit and the adversities that fell upon us had to be because there was some necessity in them, some utility for our lives. But in truth, these things cannot be explained and should not be. For all that has happened was necessary not for any mental reason but to lead us to something beyond what the mind imagines. But is there any need to explain after all? The whole universe explains everything at every moment at a particular thing. And a particular thing happens because the whole universe is what it is. But this does not mean that we are bound over to a blind acquiescence in the nature's law of inexplorable law. You can accept the past as a settled fact and perceive the necessity in it, and still you can use the experience it gave you to build up the power consciously to guide and shape your present and your future, says our Divine Mother. Question, sweet mother, is the time also of an occurrence arranged in the divine plan of things? For this, our Divine Mother says, all depends upon the planes from which one seeks and speaks. There is a plane of divine consciousness in which all is known absolutely and the whole plan of things foreseen and predetermined. That way of seeing lives in the highest reaches of the supramental. It is the Supreme own vision. It is the Supreme's own vision, but when we do not possess that consciousness, it is useless to speak in terms that hold good only in that region and are not our present effective way of seeing things. For at a lower level of consciousness, nothing is realized or fixed beforehand. All is in the process of making. Here, there are no settled facts, there is only the play of possibilities. Out of clash of possibilities is realized the thing that has to happen. On this plane, we can choose and select, refuse one possibility or accept another. We can follow one path, turn away from the other. And that we can do even though what is actually happening may have been foreseen and predetermined in a higher plane. The Supreme Consciousness knows everything beforehand because everything is realized there in her eternity. But for the sake of the play, but for the sake of her play, and in order to carry out actually on the physical plane what is foreordained in her own Supreme Self, she moves here upon earth as if she did not know the whole story. She works as if it was a new, untried thread that she was weaving. It is this apparent forgetfulness of her own foreknowledge in the higher consciousness that gives to the individual in the active life of the world his sense of freedom, independence, and initiative. Our Divine Mother says these things in him are very pragmatic tools or devices, and it is through this missionary that the moments and issues planned and foreseen elsewhere are realized here. It may help you to understand if you take the example of an actor who knows the full part of the play, he has in mind the exact sentence or the sequence of what is to happen on the stage, but when he is on the stage, he has to appear as if he didn't know anything at all. He has to feel and act as if he were experiencing all these things for the first time, as if it was an entirely new world, with its chance, events, surprises that was unrolling before his eyes, says our Divine Mother.